Yes, you guys, welcome back to the player ratings video after a 1-1 draw against Real Madrid in the first leg of the UCL. Tonight, you guys, for me, we were the better team, but poor finishing, poor final third movement were the decisive things to cost us an infamous win in the game today. If you guys do enjoy, if you're excited by the game, if you feel like we can beat them in the second leg, then you guys know what to do. Smash that like button, help me get over 2,000 likes for today's video. And before I get into anything, I want to give a massive shout out to OneFootball for sponsoring Blue Lines TV. Now, right now, OneFootball is the app to be on because it's the perfect hub to get all the post-match news, stats from right after the game, and of course, find out what the players had to say too about their performances and how the game went. It's so handy, it's so convenient, you'll use this daily, every single time. It becomes a regular part of your day. I've been using this for so long, you guys, and honestly, I really stress and urge that you download the app, which you'll find in the link in the description below. It does me a big favor, it helps me out so much. So if you guys want to really support the channel and to get straight back in now, let's start off by giving a review to our manager tonight. Now for me, I thought Thomas Tuchel was pretty perfect. Now, a part of me feels like, okay, I prefer to see Reece James starting in a game like this. However, I think the game plan was there, where when Hazard came on, he wanted to have James coming on straight away to be that fresh pair of legs, to be able to, keep up with Hazard, have greater mobility against Eden Hazard as well. And it's those types of fine details that really typified a managerial masterclass from Tuchel tonight. I really thought we nullified Real Madrid in midfield. I thought that our counter-pressing game was so crucial and key tonight. The ebb and flow of the game was very unique too, because we really picked some moments when we, sat back, held our shape and soaked that pressure up. And when we pushed forward, broke forwards, played in front of Real Madrid and maintained great possession of the ball. For me, the tactics were absolutely spot on. We created so many openings in the transition between the lines, runs in behind Real Madrid's midfield, that honestly we deserve to win today. And it comes down to the players not at times taking responsibility in those key moments to seal this game. I'm going to score Tuchel a 9 out of 10. And now we start with the first outfield player, and I'm going to be starting with Timo Werner. Now, I like to do pros and cons. For Werner's pros, I'd say his pressing from the front was very good at times. I thought his hold-up play too was decent at times, and on a few occasions he used his pace to some good effect. However, I was quite disappointed by Werner. I feel like Tuchel's given him a lot of patience, and I see Werner missing opportunities now where I don't think Tammy is missing them, because I haven't seen Tammy missing from areas that Werner seems to regularly be missing from. It's either he's not connecting with these final balls, the ball's deflected off the top of his head, or he's stretching because he isn't in the right position. And considering the guy's pace and acceleration, I think that he should be doing a lot better. I know I'm not being too nice, but that miss right at the start of the game, you can't miss stuff like that. And I felt like maybe that kind of affected his confidence as the game was going on. So unfortunately, I'm going to be scoring Timo Werner a 5 out of 10. And now we move on to Christian Pulisic, and what a performance. Wow. Single-handedly was just tearing apart Real Madrid at times. So how many times did he trigger players like Casemiro and Marcelo, Militao to, foul him? He was a foul magnet, and he was so important in helping us just, slow down some of Real Madrid's possession, really slow down the momentum, and of course win possession back for ourselves. But it was the fearlessness, it was the maturity in which Pulisic played with tonight, constantly holding the ball up in very good positions, looking to play his teammates in. The composure that he showed for that incredible goal he scored. From where he received the ball, just on the left-hand side of the 6-yard box, how many players receiving from that area end up scoring a goal from that? None. Not many at all, and it really showed you how special Pulisic was. One of his best games in a Chelsea shirt, and for that reason, I'm going to be scoring him a 9 out of 10. We now move on to Mason Mount, and wow, what an intelligent performance today. Constantly finding these great positions and behind Real Madrid's midfield, being that passing out for the team, his link-up play alongside Ben Chilwell down the left-hand side too. And what I loved about Mason was that he was looking to take responsibility, which is a factor in his game. We're clearly seeing he is really working on a lot and really showing some massive signs of improvement. At times there were some great little Cruyff turns and, you know, a nice bit of intricate play with the rest of the team. I thought though maybe his corners and set pieces today weren't his best. Now we have to remember the pitch was ridiculous. It was raining like non-stop. That was going to affect the quality at times, but today Mount was Mason Mount and I'm going to be scoring him a 7 out of 10. And now let's start with our midfield players, starting with the man of the match in N'Golo Kante. Now I know some people write off his entire game because on 1 or 2 occasions he didn't play the perfect pass, and because he didn't do that in moments like that, it means that Kante can't pass the ball and can't do anything with it, which is, you know, let's just put those comments in the bin where they belong, you know what I mean? But today, as he's proven time and time again in the biggest games, Kante comes alive. Modric and Kroos could do nothing against him. Kante unsurprisingly picked up the most dribbles in the game today, and he used his devastating ability to break away time and time again, driving down that right hand side, driving through midfield, counter pressing, winning that ball back and kick-starting attacks time and time again. I'm just starting to lose my voice a little bit, but you guys know what I'm saying. You know, this was another masterclass from N'Golo, and, you know, right now, you know, we saw how he just absolutely, for me, outplayed Casemiro off the field. You know, Casemiro is someone that's seen as a superior for some baffling reason. I still don't know why people talk down on Kante's game, but he keeps proving the doubters time and time again. Today, he was big in midfield for us, and for that reason, I'm going to be scoring Kante a 9 out of 10. And playing alongside him was midfield metronome in Jorginho. Now, there was maybe one time where a Vinicius skipped past, and that's natural. It's Vinicius Jr. You expect that to happen, but wow, I've been really praising him for his form recently over the past 3 games. He's been maintaining that, playing to a high level. I'm loving this balance between Kante and George. I think that they play so great together, and, you know, is Kovac going to get back into this team very easily? We have to see, because Jorginho, you know, I really feel like they complement each other so well. You know, Jorginho playing those cute passes between the lines, you know, the passes onto runners in midfields. You know, he was constantly finding Mason Mount and Kante in positions like this, where he was, you know, kick-starting attacks with those areas, and, you know, to continue on. How Jorginho defended today was also great. His positioning in this current tactical setup, where we really constrict the pitch against our opponents when it comes to pressing, Jorginho comes alive, because we already know that he is an outstanding kind of pressing midfield player, and today that was on show again. You know, big performance from him today. For that reason, I'm going to be scoring him 7.5 out of 10. And now we move on to wing back, starting with Azpilicueta. And I understand why Aspi started this game. There were tactical reasons. You know, we had a team for the first half and the second half quite clearly. And, you know, Aspi had his job to do today. I thought at times he struggled a bit against the directness and pace of Vinicius Jr. I thought at times, you know, he was the one more prone to giving away passes in our own half, and I don't know, you know, at times he was a bit nervy not winning those first and second balls. I think, of course, for the equaliser Madrid scored, I think Aspi could have done a lot better when it came to man marking that back post. And, you know, of course he's super reliable, but this was not one of his best colossus performances in games of this magnitude, and for that reason I'm going to be scoring Azpilicueta a 5.5 out of 10. Now we move on to Ben Chilwell, and again he's just continuing his great performances playing as the left wing back. He's really just taken on board this role to a T. He's become a first name player in the team deservedly, and it's nice to see that he's getting a lot of respect for, you know, his great performances over the past few weeks and months now. I thought Chilwell today was really getting forward in behind Real Madrid quite well. His link-up play in the final third, he doesn't give away possession, and I thought he was tenacious too when it came to, you know, those 50-50 tackles too. He really is a player that has really grown on me a lot more as the season has gone on, and it's for performances like this, you guys. I thought Ben was good again today, and for that reason, I'm going to be scoring him a 7 out of 10. Now we move on to our defense, starting with Andreas Christensen down that right hand side, and Christensen is looking like a leading centre back now, you guys, playing as a right centre back. I hope to see that more from next season. I think that he can easily play that role. His composure from playing out, you know, constantly carrying that ball forward when he could. He was very important in our build-up phase in our own half, playing out of that pressure from Real Madrid, and on top of that, his reading of the game, his support of Aspi and that right hand side, and his defensive headers. many big ones. Great performance, and I'm going to be scoring him a 7.5 out of 10. Now we move on to Thiago Silva. I'd have to say he was one of the best players on the field, and I don't know, I feel like his game isn't being appreciated enough. I think when you're players like Thiago, like the actual legends in the game, people only know you for a certain high standard, which gets taken for granted very easily time and time again. But look at where he moves the ball. Look at the teammates he finds between the lines. Look at the composure. Look at how he adds a level of calm at the back when it comes to playing out. He's constantly a support figure too when it comes to being that passing option and that receiver, and the leadership, how he controls that back line. When you have players like this in your squads and in your team, it just dramatically boosts your chances of winning games like this. For me, outstanding today, and I'm going to be scoring him an 8.5 out of 10. And now we move on to Rudiger. Rudiger today made the vital, important assist over the top to Christian Pulisic. We saw Rudiger getting in, very tight against Benzema. No mistakes from him today. We don't see mistakes from Rudiger anymore. We don't see those positional mistakes or anything like that. His passing is such an asset. He was constantly finding Ben further up the field with great balls over the top, or, balls playing on the ground too. He was constantly pushing up as well, carrying that ball, driving against Real Madrid to create even more space against them. And yeah, we have one of the best defenses now in Europe. I think that's very fair to say, and for that reason I'm going to be scoring Rudiger an 8 out of 10. And to end things in goal with Edouard Mendy. Now, he wasn't tested at all, really. I think Madrid had one shot. Could he have done better for Benzema's goal? No, I don't think so. It was point blank, and to be honest, I'd expect a player of Benzema's ability to be scoring that goal every single time. I thought Mendy came big when it came to defending against the set-piece threat of Real Madrid. He's going to be crucial for us in that second leg when Ramos does come back. But, for me, this is a big goalkeeper for the big games. And for that reason, I'm going to be scoring him a 6.5 out of 10. Now, to end things with the substitutes, you guys, I'm going to be scoring them all together because I thought they all had the same type of impact in the game. Ziyech, Havertz, Reece James. I thought when they came on, it allowed us to, regain that control back in the team. We saw players like Kai and Z, roaming between the lines, finding spaces in behind Real Madrid's midfield lines, create a lot of danger to create space against them. And, on a few occasions, I thought we could have done a bit better on the counter-attacks that we did create with them on the field, but they came on and they played their part. So I'm going to be scoring all of these guys 6.5 out of 10, and that is going to be it, you guys. That's going to be the end of the match for you today. This was a very promising and exciting performance, and the team shows today that they definitely have what it takes to go all the way, win this game, get to the final, and then when we get to the final, we can see what happens to you guys. But on that note, I'm the EFC, this is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.